Good evening, everybody. Welcome to yet another live session with me, Sathya. And today we are going to take a look at the 2024, the latest paper of the School of Liberal Studies from PDEU, Pandit Deen Energy University. So a quick check if I'm audible and visible, if you can just confirm that in the comments. Once I have that, we will start the session. Just waiting for a quick confirmation of my audio and video. Am I audible and visible? I am not getting any confirmations. Both audio, video, fine. Great. So, let's begin. A very good evening to everybody. I'm Sathya from IQ Ideas and yet another Saturday evening sessions, live solutions of past year papers. And today we are going to take a look at the 2024, the latest paper of the School of Liberal Studies at Pandit Deen Energy University, SLS PDEU. Now, as you would be well aware, the PDU paper has 100 questions of half mark each, so a 50 mark MCQ paper, where you have 40 questions from GK Current Affairs, 20 questions from English, 20 from Mathematics and 20 from Reasoning. And usually in these live sessions, I cover the math and the reasoning sections of a particular paper. I have done quite a few papers from the IPM of IIM Indore. I have done an NPAT sample paper. I have done the GIPMAT paper and more than a few of the SLS PDEU papers themselves. So without further ado, let's jump into this paper, take a look at the questions which were asked, a couple of surprising questions in this paper, and see how quickly we can go about solving them. So let's start with the first question, where it is 899 divided by 44.8 into 4.05 multiplied by 69.8. And I know most of you would be like, without a calculator, I won't be able to touch this question. But look at the options, all beautiful round figures ending in 2 zeros. That means they are not expecting you to do anything fantastic. It's simply a question of rounding off these figures and getting the exact answer. So let's quickly see how this is solvable. So 899, the nearest close figure 900 divided by 44.8. So I'll simply take this as 45 multiplied by 4.05. Let's just approximate it to 4 divided by 69.8. Let's approximate it to 70. And once we have approximated the figures like this, it becomes a pretty easy question. Correct? Okay. So let's see. 45 ones are, 2s are 90 and a 20. Right? We have the zeros, 2 4s are 8 and divided by 7. But none of the options here are actually closed, which means I have made an error in solving the question, and the obvious error is multiplication, division, wrongly taken. Oopsie. Yep, I'm going to have a lot of mad comments. So this is 900 divided by 45 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 70. My bad. Okay, so 45 ones are, 2s are and 20. That's it. So we have 2 4s are 8, 8 7s are 56 followed by a couple of zeros. And we have option C 5600. So unless like me you goof up in reading up the question, read a multiplication as a division, absolutely easy question to solve. Definitely you should be able to get this one. So don't get fooled by the decimal points. Take a look at the options. Round figures, That means you just have to approximate the values and get the exact answer. Okay, and already I have a comment saying that I got it wrong. I know. Great beginning here. Okay, let's move on to the next one. And note to self, be very careful in writing values down. Again, round figures as options of answers. So it says 47.8% plus blah 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 blah. Okay, so now let us see how well we can approximate these numbers. So 47.8%, I will take it as 48% of 350 plus 60.11%. So let's keep it as 60% of 280 will be equal to 96.98%. Let's take that as 97% of 299 point something 300 plus what? So let us take it as x percent of 150. First things first, all the figures have 100 as the denominator. So I can simply eliminate all the hundreds. So now my problem boils down to 48 into 350 plus 60 into 280 is 97 into 300 plus x into 150. Now all I need to do is a lot of multiplication here. So let's take the first figure, 48 multiplied by 350. So 0, 0, 3 8s are, and I have to remember 8 3s are 24, not 32. So 3 8s are 24, 3 4s are 12, 5 8s are 40, 5 4s are 20, 24. So 0, 0, 8, 6, 1. So 16,800 should be my first figure, plus the second is 280 multiplied by 60. So couple of zeros, 8 6 are 48, 6 2s are 12. So yet another 16,800 is equal to 97 into 300. So 97 into 300, couple of zeros, 3 7s are 21, 9 3s are 27 plus 2 29. So 29,100 plus 150x. Now let me make some space for my calculations. So this works out to 16,800 plus 16,800 2 times. So 0, 0, 2 8s are 16, 2 6 are 12, 13, 2 1s are 2, 3. 33,600 minus 29,100, which is equal to 4,500 is 150x. So x is nothing but 4,500 divided by 150. So the value of x definitely equal to 30. Got the answer there. Again, you just had to approximate all the values and get the answer. Pretty easy, as long as you don't make a stupid mistake of noting down the wrong values or doing some silly mistake in calculation. An easy question to solve. So far so good. Yet another question of the same type, where again, because my answers are round figures, I need to approximate everything, right? So 59.77% of 880 plus 79.9% of 591 is equal to what? Okay, 59.77%, let's take it as 60% of 880 plus 79.9%, so let's take it as 80% of 591 or 590. Okay, 590, no problem. Now 0 and 0, 0 and 0 gets cancelled, so I get 88 multiplied by 6. So 88 multiplied by 6, 8 6 are 48, 8 6 are 48, 52 plus a 0 and a 0 gets cancelled. Let's put this as a 0. So 59 into 8, 9 8s are 72 and 5s are 40, 47. So 528 plus 472 is equal to 1000, and we do have 1000 as the answer. So again, a simple case of rounding up the figures and you absolutely get the answer to this particular one, right? Surprising, 3 consecutive questions of math containing just rounding up of figures and simplification. Great. Now this is definitely one of the interesting questions. It says, Anil buys 12 toys and labels each with the same selling price. He sells 8 toys initially at 20% discount on the labeled price. Then thus he gets a total of rupees 2112 and makes a 10% profit. So with no discount, what is his percentage of profit? What would his percentage profit have been in this particular case? Now, definitely a very, very interesting question to solve, right? In this case, let's break it down step by step. What I know is he gets a total of 2112, which is 10% profit, right? So 110% of the cost price of 12 toys, 12 items was equal to 2112. That means the cost price of 12 items was 2112 multiplied by 100 divided by 110. The zeros get cancelled. 2112 definitely divisible by 11. So 11 ones are, 11 ones are, 11 10 nines are, and 2s are. So the cost price of 12 items I get as 1920 rupees. Great. Now, he buys 12 toys and labels each with the same selling price. Okay. So let the marked price of each individual item be equal to X rupees. He sells 8 toys initially at 20% discount on this labeled price. So my labeled price is my marked price. So for 8 items with a 20% discount, he sells it at 80% of the marked price. He sells the remaining 4 toys at an additional 25%. So in addition to this, he sells 4 toys. Now he gives 25% discount on the discounted price. So 80% he reduces by 1/4. That means 1/4 of 80 he reduces by 20. So he sells it as 60% of the labeled price and he gets a total of 2112. So I need to simplify this. Okay. So the zeros get cancelled. So 8 8s are 64x by 10 plus again the zeros get cancelled. 4 6 are 24x by 10 is equal to 2112. So 64x plus 24x, 64 plus 24, 88x is equal to 2112 and an additional 0. So I get x as 21120 divided by 88. Both divisible by 11. So 11 8s are, and I've already done this. So this is 1920 and this is also divisible by 8. So 8 ones are, 8 2s are 16, 8 4s are 32 and 2. So I get the marked price of one item is equal to 240 rupees. Okay. Now, with no discount, what would his profit have been? So if the marked price of one item is 250, the marked price of 12 items will be 12 into 250. So 240 and 240 and 20, let's do it, 24 into 12, 288. So 2880. So had he sold it at 2880 and his cost price was 1920, how much profit would he have made? 0 minus 0, 0, 8 minus 2, 6, 28 minus 8, 960. So on a cost price of 1920, he would have made a profit of 960, which is exactly half of that. So that means he definitely had a 50% profit. Now, this is exactly how the answers were printed in the exam. A 1.50, B 2.55, but I guess that was a printing mistake in the paper. It is 1, 2, 3, 4 and the options are 50, 55, 60 and 54. So definitely in this case, it is a 50% profit that he got. Now this is a very, very interesting question. I would generally expect a question like this to come up in an examination like NPAT or IPMAT or maybe even JIPMAT. But for PDEU to be asking this particular type of question is almost unheard of. So I wouldn't be too surprised if most of the students left this question unattempted. Anyway, Having said that, it's just calculation intensive. It's not too tough. But yes, even if you are not interested in solving the question and you decide to leave it, absolutely fine with me. Right? Oh, no, this is a problem. It says in a car race, car A beats car B by 45 kilometers, car B beats car C by 50 kilometers, and in kilometer over which the race has been conducted is. Definitely some data is missing in this question. Even if you take a look at it linguistically, the language does not make sense, right? And mathematically speaking, I definitely do not have enough data to solve it. So this definitely is not something on which I'm going to waste time. In the exam, it would not have made sense. I would have skipped. But even when I sat with this question at leisure and tried to understand what it means, it did not make much sense to me. So unless I'm very badly mistaken, and in case this is solvable, please do leave the solution in the comments. But I believe there is something missing. There's something which is not printed in this question, and hence it cannot be solved. Anyway, let's move ahead. Okay. In how many ways can a pair of integers x comma a be chosen such that x square minus 2 mod x plus a mod a minus 2 is 0? Again, a question which I would normally expect in a paper like the IPMAT, NPAT or JIPMAT. Definitely not in PDEU. And again, the answer options is not 1.5 because number of ways can only be an integral number. So the options are not 1.5, 2.5, so on. They have to be 5, 4, 7 and 6. Okay. Now, I would not expect too many students writing this paper to actually solve it. But is it solvable? Yes, definitely. So, in case you wonder what exactly is the solution, let's see. So, I'm given x square minus 2 mod x plus mod a minus 2 is equal to 0, right? Now, squares and mods always make a number positive. So all the numbers have to be individually 0. Then and only then I can get 0. That is one possible solution, right? So in this case, if I take x is equal to 0, then 0 minus 0 plus this has to be 0. So a becomes equal to 2, right? So 0 minus 0 plus 0 is equal to 0. So one possible solution is 0 comma 2. Now, what if I do not take that? What if I take a minus 2 as something and x as something? Let's start experimenting with values. If I take x is equal to 1, right? So this becomes 1 minus 2, which is minus 1. So if I can get this value as positive 1, I can get the answer as 0. So for x is equal to 1, a minus 2, I can take the value of a as 3. So that makes it 1 minus 2 minus 1 plus 3 minus 2 1, 0. But in this case, I can also take the value of a as 1, right? I can simply take the value of a as 1. So even in that case, because of the mod function, I get 1 minus 2 is minus 1, modulus is 1. So 1 minus 2 plus 1 is 0. So this works. Modulus, so how about x is equal to minus 1? If I take x is equal to minus 1, this remains 1 minus 2. So again the same values of a, where a is equal to 3 and for x is minus 1, a is equal to 1. I get the answer as 0. So possibly I can have 1 comma 3, 1 comma 1. I can have minus 1 comma 3 and minus 1 comma 1. So definitely 5 solutions are possible. So 4 is not the answer. But can I have more solutions? Let's check. What if I take the value of x is equal to 2? Right? I'm just experimenting with numbers. So if I take x is equal to 2, then 4 minus 2 into 2, 4 is 0. So again a is equal to 2 satisfies the equation. Brilliant. And if a is equal to 2 satisfies the equation, what about x is minus 2? Then in that case, minus 2 square is 4, minus 2 into mod, this is again 4, 0 and a is 2. Again satisfies the equation. So I can have 2 comma 2 and 2 comma minus 2 comma 2 as potential values. So in this particular example, I definitely have these 7 values. So 5 and 6 are eliminated, and I'm not going to work with more numbers because the max possible answer here is 7. So I will definitely mark 7 as the answer and move ahead. An involved question, a question which requires you to play a bit with numbers, right? Of course, you can do some fancy inequality calculations, but a little bit of playing with numbers can absolutely get you the answer. But I do not expect many students to be solving this in the SLS PDEU paper. Definitely in IPM, NPAT or GIPMAT, not so much in SLS PDEU. Okay. So that was one of the tough questions. Yet another inequality, yet another of these type of questions which I do not expect in SLS PDEU, definitely in the other papers. And this is exactly how it was printed in the paper. Mathematically inaccurate. I thought that was a mistake, that there is something wrong. And then I quickly realized what it is. Can you spot the error in this question? It says the number of integers that satisfy the equality x square minus 5x plus 7 into x plus 1 equal to 1 is what? Now, if you take it at face value, you will quickly eliminate the ones and ones. So you will get x square minus 5x plus 7 into x is 0. So either x is 0 or x square minus 5x plus 7 is equal to 0. And then you will try to solve it. But I believe they have fundamentally printed it incorrectly. What this question should look like, in my opinion, is x square minus 5x plus 7 raised to x plus 1 is 1. And the only reason why I thought of this is because I've seen a similar question in one of the IPM papers. So if it is x square minus 5x plus 7 raised to x plus 1 is equal to 1, then automatically I will think of 3 cases, right? Case 1, if the base is equal to 1, 1 raised to anything is 1. So in my first case, x square minus 5x plus 7 can be equal to 1. So x square minus 5x plus 6 is 0. So x minus 2 into x minus 3 is 0, which means x can be 2 or x can be 3, right? So 2 possible solutions. Second case, anything raised to the power 0 is equal to 1, which means x plus 1 is 0, making x as minus 1, yet another value. What is the third case? Well, in case 3, if my base is minus 1 with an even number as the power, right? So if base is minus 1 and even number as the power, then it can lead to 1. So my base x square minus 5x plus 7 is minus 1. So x square minus 5x plus 8 equal to 0. But this cannot be resolved as having integral roots. The roots of x square minus 5x plus 8 are not going to be integers. And I need integers that satisfy, which means this case is definitely not going to work out. In which situation 1, 2 and 3 potential values. So option A, 3 could be the answer to this particular question. Again, I'm making a huge guess. I'm guessing the printing may be inaccurate. In case there is another solution, you can definitely put that in the comments. But in my opinion, I think there was a fundamental error in the printing of the question, and that's the way it is. Okay, great. Let's move on. Painful. In a group of 10 students, the mean of the lowest 9 is 42, mean of the highest 9 is 47. For the entire group of 10 students, the maximum possible mean exceeds the minimum possible mean by what? And I again think the answers are printed incorrectly. It is not 1 point something, 2 point something, but it's simply 5, 4, 6 and 3. And believe me, I've tried my best to come up with an answer to this. But I think again, this is one of those questions where it is not going to be easily solvable if at all the question is correct and there exists an answer to this. So please don't waste much time on this. If you think it is solvable, definitely post the answer in the comments. But otherwise, I think this is one of those bad questions. And we already come across a couple of them in this particular paper, right? So I'm not going to waste my time on this. In the exam, definitely I will leave it and move ahead. PDPU 2024 paper was full of surprises. Again, a very, very typical question which I would never expect in this kind of a paper. But let's see. Definitely solvable, but not as easy as the questions are generally expected to be. So it says there are two circular tracks T1, T2 of radii 120 meters respectively, which touch at a point A. Okay, let's make this diagram. So I have two tracks, right? Definitely one is smaller than the other. They touch at point A. So track 1, the radii is 100 meters. Track 2, the radii is 20 meters. Okay. Starting from A at the same time, Ram and Rahim are walking on a track T1 and T2 at 15 and 5 kilometers per hour respectively. So Ram is walking on this track at the speed of 15 kilometers per hour. Rahim is walking on this track at the speed of 5 kilometers per hour. Now, the distance is given in meters, right? And the speed in kilometers per hour. So let's convert the speed also into where the distance is in meters. So 15 into 5 by 18 meters per second. So 3 6s are, 3 5s are. So this is 25 by 6 meters per second, or 25 by 60 meters per minute. So let's take it as 25 by 6 meters per second or 25 by 60 meters per, okay, sorry, 250 meters per minute. Okay, so something like that. And this again will be 5 into 5 by 18. So basically this person is moving at 250 by 3. I'm going to eliminate the units to make life a bit simple. This person, if he's moving at 250 something, he's moving at 1/3 that speed. Okay. And because the radius is given and the distance is a circular track, the circumference of the circle will be the distance. Okay. So let's take this distance, the circumference, as 2 pi r. So 2 into pi into 100. So the distance that the first one has to cover is 200 pi. Great. And the second is 2 pi r, which is 2 into pi into radius of 20, which is equal to 40 pi. So the first person is traveling 200 pi. The second person is traveling 40 pi when they complete one circle, each of their circuits. Speed of the first person is 250, speed of the second person is 250 by 3, right? This is meters, this is also in meters. This is meters per time unit. Okay. So now I need to find out the number of full rounds that Ram will make before he meets Rahim again. Okay. So when Ram is traveling 200 pi and completing one circle, because Rahim is traveling at 1/3 the speed, he would have traveled 200 by 3. So 200 pi by 3 will be equal to 3 6 are 66 point something. So definitely not a full circle. When he's traveling 400 pi, he would have traveled 400 pi by 3, again point something. When he travels 600 pi, he would have traveled 600 by 3, which is 200 pi, round figure, and a multiple of 40.5. So it is on the third round that both of them would meet. So technically speaking, I don't even need all these calculations. As long as I know that one person is traveling at 3 times the speed of the other, and I know the distance between the distance traveled by one is 200 something, 200 pi, the other is 40 pi. By just estimating these things, I will be definitely able to get a guess that it has to be 3. So again, wrongly printed options, it has to be 3. The number of full rounds, because look at the question, it says number of full rounds. So the number of full rounds that Ram will make when he meets Rahim has to be 3. So not too difficult. Of course, you may end up doing some extra calculations, which is unnecessary now that I realize it. But again, I have not seen this type of a question for a very, very long time being asked in at least the SLS PDEU paper. Okay, moving ahead. Now, Aaron bought some pencils and sharpeners, spending the same amount of money as Aaron. Aditya bought twice as many pencils and 10 less sharpeners. Okay, linear equations. So let's assume that Aaron bought P pencils and S sharpeners, and let's assume that spending the same amount of money as Aaron, Aditya bought twice as many pencils and 10 less sharpeners. So if he bought P pencils, then the other person bought how many pencils? He bought twice as many pencils and 10 less sharpeners. If the cost of one sharpener, okay, this amount of money spent in both the case is the same. If the cost of one sharpener is rupees 2 more than the cost of a pencil, then the minimum possible number of pencils bought by Aaron and Aditya together is what? Okay, so if I simplify this, I get P is equal to 10, right? So I'm assuming that the cost of the pencil and sharpener to be 1 rupee each, right? So P plus S is 2P plus S minus 10. If the cost of one sharpener is rupees 2 more than the cost of a pencil, am I going to get this question? Nope, nope, nope. Let's fundamental assumptions. Okay, so let's assume that the number of pencils is P. So the other person brought 2P pencils, and the number of sharpeners is S. So the other person bought 10 less sharpeners, S minus 10. Now, the cost of one sharpener is 2 more than the cost of the pencil. So let's assume the cost of the pencil is X. So the cost of the sharpener is X plus 2. And that is the same in both the cases. The total amount spent was same, right? So P times X plus S times X plus 2 is equal to 2P times X plus X plus 2 times S minus 10. Okay, now let's see how this is solvable. So this becomes Px, the 2 gets eliminated. So I get Sx plus 2s is equal to Px plus Sx minus 10x plus 2s minus 20. I can eliminate both the Sx's. I can eliminate both the 2s's. So I get Px minus 10x is equal to 20. So x into P minus 10 is equal to 20. So if x is the number of, x is the cost of a pencil and P is the number of pencils, so x into P minus 10 is 20. So P definitely cannot be equal to anything less than 10, right? Because I cannot have a negative number of pencils, right? So if I take P is 10, again not possible. So P is any value greater than 11. Now, using the options, and again the options are not in decimals, the options are 30, 33, 27 and 36. Try to put the values of P and see which of them satisfy the given conditions. It's going to be long and involved, right? It is not an easy question. It is definitely a lengthy question. If there's a faster method, tell me. But this is what I would reach. And of course, not waste too much time. I will solve the other questions and come back to it and see if I can plug in the values of the things and find out the answer to this question. Okay, let's see if you get the answer. I believe the answer is 30, but do the calculation and let me know in the comments. Okay. Standard question. This question definitely has been asked before in the PDEU paper. The train fare between Nagpur and Nashik for one adult is 3 times the train fare for one child. Okay. So let's assume for one adult the cost is X. So for one child it is X by 3. So make one adult 3x and one child x. I hate fractions. Now, if the adult train fare is 102, which means x is 102 by 3. 3 3s are 9, 3 4s are 12. So the fare for one child is 34. Now, how much amount will be paid by 3 adults and 4 children? That's it. All you need to do is simplify this. 306 plus 136, 6 and 6, 12, 4, 4. That's it, 442. So you definitely get 442 as the value, option B, right? Definitely they have asked this question before, and this is more like it. This is the standard of questions I usually expect in SLS PDEU. We had 3 or 4 questions before which were definitely out of range. But okay, although unexpected, I would not say that they cannot ask such questions, right? It's their prerogative. But generally, the kind of applicants that I see, I would not expect this to be the level of mathematics in the paper. Anyway, again problem. A number consists of 2 digits whose sum is 8, okay? And I have to find what is the number. So, right off the bat, 54 and 45 cannot be, because the sum of the digits must be 8. Now it says the digits interchange their places if 8 is subtracted. So 53 minus 8 is 45. Nope. But 35 minus 8 is 27. Nope. So then we are not left with anything. So definitely an RNS question in the paper. Right off the bat, we get this, that it's not something which is solvable. Definitely some error in the question. Okay, coming back. Find the simple interest on 5,200 rupees for 2 years at 6% per annum. Seriously, I'm not even going to complete the calculation. Simple interest is given by PNR upon 100. So principal on 5,200, number of years 2, rate of interest 6 divided by 100. That's it. Do the calculation, find the answer, check which one of the options follow. PNR upon 100. Straightforward application of the simple interest formula. Nothing else to do in this question. Okay. A dealer marks his goods 25% above cost, gives a discount of 8%. Find the profit percentage. Okay, so if my cost price is 100, I'm marking it 25% above my cost price, and I'm giving you a discount of 8%. So 8% of 125, 8% of 100 is 8, 25, 1/4, 2, so 10. So my discount is 8% of 125. 25 4s are, 25 5s are, 2s are 10. So my selling price is 125 minus 10, which is 115. So compared to the cost, I'm getting 15 rupees more. So 15 percentage is his profit percentage. Very, very easy question. Definitely not something which we will lose too much of sleep on. I mean, 20 seconds, you are done with this one. Excellent. Now, A and B can complete a piece of work in 15 days, B alone in 20 days. How many days can A alone complete the work? Oh, sitter. So, per day, the funda for solving such questions is always per day. So, 1 upon A plus 1 upon B per day, do 1/15th. And B alone in 20. So 1 upon A plus 1 upon 20 is 1 upon 15. So 1 upon A is 1 upon 15 minus 1 upon 20, LCM 60, 4 minus 3 is 1 by 60. So A alone can finish the work in 60 days. Mark option A, move ahead. Done with this question, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now we are getting questions which are traditionally expected in the PDEU paper. Let's see how long this euphoria lasts. Jinxed. Find the remainder when 73 into 75 into 78 into 57 into 197 into 37 is divided by 34. Now this is a great funda. I'm going to tell you what the funda is. I want you to solve this question and put the answer in the comments. The funda is, when I have a number and I divide it by another, and I have another number and I divide it by that number, by the same number, the remainders which are left over by dividing it will behave in the same way as the original numbers. So all you have to do in this question is take each number individually and divide by 34. Whatever remainder you get, you again multiply all those reminders and keep dividing by 34 till you get a number less than 34, which definitely should be your answer, right? Now, when number is divided by 34, a remainder cannot be greater than that, right? So my answer is not 44 or 45. So from the two remaining options, it is either 30 or 32. I've worked this much out. So try this out. Divide each number by 34. Whatever the remainder comes, again keep dividing the product. You will end up with a single number less than 34. So it's either 30 or 32. If you are willing to take a risk, you might mark any one of them, 50% chance of getting it right, no negative marking. But if you want to spend a little bit of time and actually get the answer, do it. I have done the calculation. I know what the answer is. Let's see how many of you get this one. Okay. Now, painful question, because I've seen this question in the paper multiple times and always I am not satisfied with the answer. Let's see. It says find the odd one out. 3, 5, 11, 14, 17, 21. First, I tried all sort of things, trying it as primes, difference of the numbers, so on and so forth. But the only logic which seems to work is 14 is the only even number in the entire group. And I'm not sure, because they have officially never given out the key. I do not know whether year on year that is their logic. But the only logic which comes to my mind for this particular question is that among all the given numbers, 14 is the only one which is even. Because 3, 5, 11 and 17 are primes, but both 14 and 21 are not. The difference between the numbers doesn't seem to form any pattern. So if you are again willing to take a risk, mark 14 and move ahead. Not worth wasting too much of time on this. And we come back to a question which has been asked at least 3 to 4 times in the past papers. In the first 10 overs of a cricket game, the run rate was 3.2. So with a run rate of 3.2 for 10 overs, they have already scored 32 runs. What should be the run rate in the remaining 40 overs to reach the target of 282? So out of 282, if they have already scored 32, they are left with 250 runs. And these 250 runs have to be scored in 40. So 250 by 40 is 25 by 4 is 12.5 by 2 is equal to 6.25. So that's it. They have asked this question with the exact same number so many times. Students who have done the past year papers would practically remember the answer, but still it doesn't hurt to verify with calculations. Doesn't take much time, right? So 6.25 definitely the answer for this particular question. All right. The average of 20, this question again has been repeated so many times. The average of 20 numbers is 0. One of them at the most, how many of them can be greater than 0? So when the average of 20 numbers is 0, then the first plus the second till the 20th number, the total of the numbers must be 0. Now it asks at the most how many can be greater than 0. So even if the first 19 numbers are all positive numbers, my 20th number can be the sum of all these numbers. So let us say I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 up to 19. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to 19 will give you a number. 19 into 18 by 2, 19 nines are is the thing. the negative value of this number can be the 20th number. You add up, end up with 0. So maximum you can have 19 numbers as positive and still end up with the total as 0 and hence the average as 0. So that's how you solve this question. So many times it has been asked in the paper. Again, practically you will remember the answer. Okay. 8, 17, 42, 91. Find the next number in the series. Okay. So 8 2s are 16 plus 1 is 17. Okay. 17 2s are 34 plus 8. So 17 2s are 34 plus 8 is 42. 42 multiplied by 2 is 84 and 84 plus 7. This does not seem to be making any logic. Okay. So let's check out the simple differences of the numbers 8, 17, 42 and 91. Between 8 and 17, the difference is 9. Between 17 and 42, the difference is 25. Between 42 and 91, so 90 minus 41, the difference is 49. And this is 3 square, 5 square, 7 square. Oh, odd number squares. So 9 square, 81. So this is 172. Yes, I have 172 as an answer. So the difference between the numbers were the squares of odd numbers. Interesting question, but not too difficult to solve, right? So these were the 20 questions from maths. But let's quickly proceed with reasoning. And as usual, reasoning, math, same type of questions asked. So this is supposed to be the reasoning section starting here, but we don't see the difference. Now, what I need to do is complete the series 1, 4, 8, 13 and so on and so forth. Okay. First things first, let's check the difference. So between 1 and 4, 3, between 4 and 8, 4, between 8 and 13, 5. Oh, easy. So 13 plus 6, 19 has to be the answer, right? Very, very easy question, fundamental question of number series. Again, 0, 1, 3 and 6. Now, what is the sum? What is the difference between the numbers? 1, 2, 3. So the next difference 4, 10. Are they trying to compensate for the tough or bad questions of math with such easy questions in reasoning? Let's hope so. Okay. Two objects, events or concepts are related in some way. You have to establish the same relation with the other two objects, events or concepts on the basis of the alternatives given below each question. Analogies. Human behavior is to psychology as plant is to what? The study of human behavior is psychology. So the study of plants is botany. Mark A as the answer. Move ahead. Same blah blah question. So an ocean is a large body of water. A desert is a large body of sand. Again, mark A as the answer. Move ahead. Wow, one more analogy. A bird builds a nest. A spider builds a web. Right? A bird builds a nest. A spider builds a web. Done. 3 questions in less than 2, 3, 5 seconds each. Makes up for the questions of mathematics. Okay. Now, in this question, an interesting one. In a class of 30, Ravi is 8th from the top. So, ranks 1 to 7. At the 8th position, you have Ravi. So, out of 30, I have already accounted for 8, which means there are 22 students after. What is his rank from the bottom? Now, there are 22 students after him. So, his rank from the bottom is the 23rd, right? You have to be careful. It is not 22nd. If there are 22 people after him, then his rank from the bottom will be the 23rd one. That's the only mistake you will make. Otherwise, very, very easy question to solve. Okay. Similar, if Rishabh ranks 7th from the top and 9th from the bottom. Oh. So, if Rishabh is 7th from the top, That means 6 people ahead of him and 1 himself, and 9th from the bottom. So 8 people after him and 1. So 8 plus 1, 9 plus 6. The total number of participants has to be 15. Definitely got this one as well. Ranking question. You have to remember to include the same person. If you don't make that mistake, you'll definitely get this. Easy, easy, easy. We are breezing through this section. Which word does not belong to the others? King, checkmate, knight and prince. Okay. Checkmate and knight are both terms of chess and so is king. But a prince is not in chess. In chess you have king, checkmate and knight but not a prince. So D is definitely the odd man out in this particular example. Again, guitar, mouth organ, flute, saxophone. You play guitar, it's a stringed instrument. But mouth organ, with the mouth, you blow air. Flute, you blow air. Saxophone, you blow air. So, mouth organ, flute and saxophone are all wind instruments. Guitar is a stringed instrument. So, the odd man out has to be guitar in this case. Okay. Again, math. Sum of the ages of 5 children born at the interval of 4 years each is 60 years. Okay. What is the age of the eldest child? So let's assume the first child is X, second child is X plus 4, third child is X plus 8, fourth child is X plus 12, fifth child is X plus 16 and their sum is 60. So 5 times X plus 4 plus 8, 12, 12 plus 12, 24 plus 16 is 40 is 60. So 5x is 20. So x is 4 but not my answer. Age of the eldest child, x plus 16. So 4 plus 16. Age of the eldest child is definitely 20 years in this particular example. Right? Just need to be careful about that, but easily cracked. Okay. A father said to his son, I was as old as you are at the time of your birth. Okay. So, the father and the son. When the son was just born, he was 0. So, father is X. Now, I was as old as you are. So, when the son is X, then the father becomes 2X. So, current age is 2X. And the father's age today is 40. So if 2x is 40, then x is equal to 40 by 2, 20. So the current age of the son is 20. But what should be the age of the son after 5 years? Don't miss this out. It says age of the son after 5 years. So adding 5, you definitely need 25 as the answer to this question. Right? 20 is also given, and that is one mistake which is very commonly made. Right? Read the question carefully. They're not asking for current age of the son. They're asking what is the age of the son after 5 years. Okay. Now, directions. Right? A man walks 6 kilometers towards south. Okay. So this is north, south, east and west. A man walks 6 kilometers towards the south, then turns to the right. Now we have to be careful. If I'm going up, then that is right. But when I'm coming down, my left and right is reversed. So turn to the right after walking 4, then turns to the left. So from here, left and walks 4. Which direction is he from the starting point? So from the starting point, if I draw an arrow, it points roughly in this direction between south and west. So from the starting point, he is towards the southwest. That is the answer that you are looking for, right? Many students get confused with directions, but like I have said, if you're not able to judge left and right, so once you have drawn the first arrow, just turn the page upside down so that the arrow points up. And whenever the arrow is pointing up, left and right is the normal left and right. So keep turning the paper around and you will not get confused with your lefts and rights. Okay. Amit is the son of Reenar's brother. Question on relations. Okay. So we have a female Reena. Reena has a brother, and Amit is the son of Reena's brother. M and F, male and female. Rita is the daughter of Amit's father, right? So Amit's father is this person, and Rita is this person's daughter. So Amit and Rita are siblings, and Reena is Amit's brother, Amit's father's sister, paternal aunt, Bua. So for Rita, who is the sister of Amit, this is the father. So again, Reena is the Bua, paternal aunt, right? So definitely paternal aunt is the answer that we are looking for. Don't get confused. See, I can eliminate sister and grandmother because Reena and Rita are not at the same level, but not the mother because this person is the brother to Reena, right? So I should be getting aunt as the answer. All right. In a group of 120 students, 60 play football, 50 cricket, 30 play both. Okay, Venn diagrams. So let's say this is cricket, this is football, center is both. So 50 play cricket, 60 play football, and 30 play both. So if 30 play both, then only cricket is 50 minus 30, 20. Only football is 60 minus 30, 30. So 30 plus 30, 60 plus 20. I have got 80 people playing at least one of the two games. But there are a total of 120 students. So the missing 40 students are not in any one of these sports, which means there are 40 students who play neither football nor cricket. Mark option D as the answer. Move ahead. Done. Venn diagram, you set theory, but extremely easy version of question. Okay. Now, 6 boys are sitting in a circle facing towards the center. Circular arrangement. Very interesting. Now, 6 boys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Rajiv is sitting to the right of Mohan. So let's put Mohan here. So Rajiv is sitting to the right of Mohan because this is the right hand side for everybody. But he is not just at the left of Vijay. So Rajiv is not to the left of Vijay, which means Vijay is definitely not seated in this position. Now, Chirag is between Vikas and Vijay. Okay, so I have Chirag between Vikas and Vijay. But Chirag can also be between Vikas and Vijay like this. I have to consider both the left and right. Now, Ajay is sitting to the left of Vijay. If Ajay is sitting to the left of Vijay, I cannot have this arrangement, right? So, Ajay is sitting to the left of Vijay, which means in the circle, I have to go like this. That means I have to place Ajay, then Vijay, then Chirag, then Vikas. So, this could be Ajay, Vijay, Chirag, and Vikas. Let's see if it matches the conditions. Chirag between Vikas and Vijay, Ajay to the left of Vijay, and Vijay not there. That's it. So who is sitting to the left of Mohan? In this case, the person sitting to the left of Mohan definitely has to be Vikas, right? I hope that's the answer. Let me just confirm. Is the answer Vikas? Yep, the answer is Vikas. So I hope you got the arrangement right in this question, not a difficult one. You just need to be careful about placing left and right in a circle. Okay. Now, child is coded as 5, 11, 11, 15 and 6. Okay. It says child is coded as 5, 11, 11, 15 and 6. What will be the code for batch? Now, whenever numbers are given, what I need to do is see if there is any connection between the numbers and the letters. So, A is 1, B is 2 and so on. So, C is 3, H is 8, I is 9, L is 12 and D is 4, right? So this is plus 2, plus 3, plus 2, plus 3 and plus 2. Great. So batch B is 2, A is 1, T is 20, C is 3 and H is 8. And I need to start with plus 2 plus 3. So plus 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2. So this is 4, 4, 22, 6 and 10. So that would be D, D, T, U, V, F and J. So D, D, V, F, J. But I don't need this actually. The answer is in terms of numbers. So 4, 4, 22, 6 and 10. Option A directly gives me the answer to that. But even if they had coded it with letters, you could have got it, but I don't need the letters. I simply get the numbers and that's the answer, right? So every letter is first converted into a number and then starting with the first one, plus 2, plus 3, plus 2, plus 3 and so on and so forth. All right. Now, liberal is written as MJ something, something, something. Let's identify. Liberal is written as M, J, C, F, S, B and M. And mint is written as NJOU. Then what will be the code for child? Okay. L, M, I, J, B, C, E, F, R, S, A, B, L, M. M, N, I, J, N, O, T. Come on. Easy. So C, D, H, I, J, L, M, D, E. So D, I, J, M, E. Option 1 answer. I don't even know why they gave you 2 words. 1 word was sufficient because there was nothing great in this example. Okay. A can do a work in 5 days, B in 30 days. If they work on it together for 3 days, then the fraction of work that is left would be. Okay. So per day, A can complete 1/5 of the work, B can complete 1/30th of the work. So together they will do 1/5 plus 1/30th, which is 6 upon 30 plus 1 upon 30, which is 7 upon 30 of the work. And they work together for 3 days. So 3 into 7 upon 30, 7/10 of the work is done. So from the total work, what fraction of the work is left? So 1 minus 7 upon 10 is 3/10. But unfortunately, none of the options is 3/10. So if the question were how much of the work is completed, then 7/10 could be the answer. But in this, the question asked is what fraction of the work is left. Technically, the answer should be 3/10, which is none of the options. So I don't know whether they have incorrectly published the options or the worded the question incorrectly. Whatever it is, if I want to take a risk, I'll mark 7/10, 7/10, nothing to lose. Mark it and move ahead. Just a second. Okay, I just thought I heard somebody at the door. Okay, that's it. So I don't know, but quite possible either the options are given incorrectly or the question is worded incorrectly. Now, an accurate clock shows 7 o'clock in the morning. Through how many degrees will the hour hand rotate when the clock shows 1 o'clock in the afternoon? Oh, nice. So this is my hand of a clock. Now, 7 o'clock in the morning. So let's make the divisions of the clock. This is 12, 3, 6 and 9. 7 o'clock in the morning, the hour hand will be at this position. And at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it should be at this position. That means it has traveled exactly half. So how many degrees would the hour hand rotate? Has to be 180 degrees. I don't even know what is the complication in this question. Definitely 180 degrees, right? Why look a gift horse in the mouth? Mark it, move ahead. Okay. Cup is to coffee as bowl is to, you use a cup to drink coffee from. You use a bowl to drink soup from. So soup has to be the answer in this particular question. And that's it. With a quick 2-second question, we come to the end of the paper. Math section was definitely a bad one. More than a couple of questions, I believe, wrongly printed in the paper itself. But the reasoning section was fairly simple, and a lot of questions in math repeated from the past year papers and could be easily cracked. So barring the few questions here and there, definitely not too difficult a paper to solve. So like I keep saying again and again to any aspirant of SLS PDEU, please take a look at all the past year papers, and so many of these questions get repeated time and again that the probability of getting similar questions in the sections of reasoning, English, sometimes even in English, reasoning, maths, and sometimes even in English is extremely high, right? Get your fundamentals in place. Don't make silly mistakes like I did with the very first question of today's seminar, and cracking this exam is extremely a piece of cake. So with that, I bring this session to an end. Do make a note of all the questions that I left up to you to solve. If you think I made an error in understanding or solving one of the questions, I would definitely love to hear it in the comments. If you want me to solve any other papers, again, give me a heads up in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe for more such content. Till then, wish you all the very best for your preparations for all the entrance examinations that you're giving. Have a good day.